Hello, and thank you for signing up for this first unit of the course. I'm filming this while we're on lockdown, and so I apologise about the scenery behind me. It's not the most professional you'll ever see, but hopefully you'll still find a lot of quality in the content of the course I'm producing. I first created it a couple of years ago, but a lot has changed in that time, and so I'm editing it and improving it to give you the best possible value that I can. A lot of the course will be presented as me chatting to the camera like I am now. Some of it will be presented as PowerPoint. The goal is that by the end of the units you'll have enough information that you could step forward and create your own successful tutoring business. I started Star Tutoring in 2012. Last year we changed our name to Clara Jane's Tutoring because we set about franchising the business, and I wasn't able to trademark the name Star, which was my maiden name, why we used that originally. You may watch this first unit and decide that you're not going to take the course any further. That's fine. I'll keep in touch with you and I'll send you regular emails, and hopefully you'll find some nuggets of useful information within those. You may get to the end of this course and decide that you know enough to help you proceed further and set up your own successful business, which I hope is the case, or you may decide that there's actually far more to it than you ever realised and you're going to want support going further from that, in which case we will be able to help you. But either way, if you do decide to take on the full course, enjoy it, and I hope you find a lot of value in it. Warm wishes and keep well. In this first unit we're going to look at how do we learn best. If we want to support a child with their learning, we need to do it in a way that's effective for them. So, for example, it wouldn't be beneficial for them if they learn most efficiently by looking and watching, i.e. they're visual learners, if we just sat and talked to them for a period of time. Equally, it'd be counterproductive to show them something if they were audio learners. So, in order to establish how a student learns best, we need to talk to them and involve them in trying to establish the optimum way to support them and understand what learning style will best suit their needs. Remember this throughout your time as a tutor, so it's one of the biggest benefits you can offer the child you're supporting. There are 4 ways in which a person can learn, and these we refer to as learning styles. These are visual, audio, tactile and kinesthetic experiences, each of which will provide memories for the child to recall at a later date. Regardless of what the child's learning style is, if you expose them to a wider variety of experiences and learning styles within each activity, they'll be more likely to recall the information that they need at a later date. Each time we do something, we create a memory in the brain. When we need to recall this information, our brain looks for those memories, making information available to us. Therefore, the more memories we can produce when learning something, the more likely it is that we'll be able to recall the information when we need it. Typically, in a classroom situation, a teacher will talk to the class on a given subject. This is then followed up with a group discussion and perhaps a written task of some description. For some children, this won't be sufficient, as they need a more interactive route to learning, like those used of a kinesthetic learner, by using all 5 senses if appropriate. Most children will be unable to thrive unless they have determined what their learning style is. A visual reminder is when a child creates a memory from something they have seen. They don't need to interact with it on a deeper level, they just need to see it. So, for example, this might include ball charts around a classroom. There are numerous examples of environmental prints of words and numbers, and they're found in endless places within the Western world. So, for example, you've got calendars, catalogues, menus, timetables, the buses and trains, you've got newspapers and TV guides, etc. Audio reminders are created when a child creates a memory from something they've heard, so this can be in the form of being told something or hearing something they say themselves. Audio reminders are particularly effective when it's their own voice they're hearing, so consequently getting the child to say it themselves would be far more efficient than listening to someone else telling them the information. If the child is shown the information at the same time as they hear it, then that will offer both a visual and an audio memory, improving the chances that they'll recall the information when they need it. The next memory style is a tactile reminder, and this is created when a child creates a memory from something that they felt, This can be created by using resources such as clay, Play-Doh, plastic or pipe cleaners. The advantage of this is that the child can be involved in creating the resource themselves. So for example, creating a letter shape out of the pipe cleaner is a simple mess-free activity, as the pipe cleaners can easily be manipulated into shape. Kinesthetic memories are created when the child creates a memory from something which they actually interact with. So for example, it might include acting something out or making something out of, again, pipe cleaners or clay, Play-Doh, etc. And children clearly enjoy these activities, which is important because if the child is enjoying themselves, they're more likely to be in a relaxed state where they're more susceptible to learning. Another prime example of kinesthetic memories are the jolly phonics that they use in primary school, where you have a different action which matches each sound that the child is supposed to be learning. So the more of these sensory activities you can introduce to the child, the more likely they are to be able to make multisensory memories and be able to recall the information when they need them in the future. These learning styles can also be linked to learning components, and again there are 4 of these. You've got information input. These are the methods and techniques we use to absorb information. And then you've got information output, and this refers to the techniques and systems we use to communicate information with others. The next is memory, and this is vital to recognising our ideal learning style. We all have long and short-term working memories, and our short-term memory is where we store current information that can be easily accessed. Our working memory then subdivides into visual, verbal, kinesthetic memories, as mentioned previously. And those who struggle with this short-term memory may find memory aids beneficial. The long-term memory is where things which have happened previously are stored and need more thinking about in order to recall. This long-term memory can also be subdivided into procedural and factual memory. The procedural memory helps us to recall rules and rote tests so they can be formed without too much conscious effort. Factual memories can also be subdivided into personal. These are learned through personal experiences. This is often the favoured long-term memory style, as it provides something that people can relate to a specific experience. And we've also got impersonal experiences, which are also known as semantic or impersonal memories, which are much more abstract. Next, we have attention. This is something that some students will struggle with, and when someone has a fairly small working memory, they will often find that it's difficult to maintain their attention as their working memory has been overwhelmed, hindering their ability to maintain their focus on the task over a long period of time. Attention is influenced by factors such as motivation and interest in the subject, and again, regardless of the child's learning style, it's important to teach things in small, manageable chunks, because if too much is presented in one go, the odds are they're just going to tune out. It's better to set very small targets, reach them, ensure proper understanding, and then move on. If the foundations aren't strong, the rest will crumble, and there's a lot of truth in the phrase, don't try to run before you can walk. As I've stated previously, it's important that the child is relaxed and enjoying themselves, so that they're more likely to recall the information required in the future. Consequently, if and when possible, incorporate these activities into games, crafts, or other less formal academic activities. And make sure what you're teaching has meaning to the student, because something that's learnt through rote will have no meaning, which consequently means each fact has to be learnt individually. Give everything logic and it will become easier to remember and to understand. My belief is that although we may have one dominating learning style, the more styles we are introduced to, the more likely it is that we will remember what we've been taught. Like I've said before, each time we're subjected to something, either orally, visually, actively, we hold this experience somewhere in our brain as a memory. The more memories we make about a specific thing, the more likely it is that we'll be able to recall that information later date when we need it. During most lessons, even older children who are studying for their GCSEs, I will introduce a game at some level, and the reasons that I do this are: if a student is starting to lose focus, having a break with something that addresses the subject from a different angle will normally draw them back into the session again. If you're relaxed and in a positive state of mind, you're more susceptible to learning, and most people do relax when they're enjoying a game. For the tutee, winning the game will provide a feeling of confidence in their abilities. Very often, people you tutor will need you because they are struggling in their setting and generally don't do as well as their peers. In turn, this has a negative effect on their confidence. So to beat someone once in a while can be an amazing boost both for morale and their self-confidence. And also how well they succeed with the questions in the game will be an indicator of how well they've understood the subject that you've been working on. Playing games has proven to be controversial with some parents. I've had parents say to me, my child is here to learn, not to play games. And many parents like to see a stack of worksheets as a measure of the amount of work that their child has completed during that session, and as for justification for paying you your chosen amount. Consequently, when I first liaise with a family, I explain about how a variety of activities is more likely to help restoring relevant information in the person's brain than the continued repetition of worksheets, but we will go into this in one of the later videos.